would invite everybody to please rise in honor of the Republic Guard.
We're going to wait for the gentlemen who are part of the Lindstrom group are going to come back and join us for the litany. Does everybody have one of the bulletins? Okay, good. Everything you need should be printed in the bulletin, so we should be good. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out today for this special Memorial Day service here. We began with our gathering litany. Let us give thanks to God for the land of our birth, with all its chartered liberties, for all the wonder of our country's story, for leaders in nation and state, and for those who in days past and in these present times have labored for the common welfare of all, with your mercy. The memories of those we have lost a while, may it also bring your consolation and the assurance that their loved ones are alive now and forever in your living presence through the love and grace of Jesus. Amen. I invite everyone to join with me in singing "O Beautiful Forsaken Skies," and we'll sing this together. Oh, beautiful forsaken skies. This is the freedom that understands our freedom ends where another freedom begins. Liberty, as opposed to license, is a freedom that exists within limits and boundaries established by the love of God and the love of neighbor. As the war in Ukraine continues, or as the upcoming anniversary of the D-Day landing reminds us, freedom is never free. With freedom comes responsibility. Freedom is costly. Each of us have dual citizenship and a certain level of freedom, but true freedom involves sacrifice. We have to decide what we will do with our freedom in Christ and the freedom that we enjoy as Americans. In our country, we have been given great freedom. Arguably, however, many of the problems our country is facing have arisen because we have forgotten that with freedom comes responsibility. There is a battle of minds and hearts and ideals raging in our nation that can be framed as rights versus righteousness, or right ways of living. I may have the right to say profane and terrible things, according to the Constitution, but does that mean I should? The Founding Fathers understood that how a person and a whole people choose to exercise their freedom will determine how well a nation functions. In his inaugural address, John F. Kennedy famously said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." Once again, freedom is not simply a matter of self-actualization. It's not just a matter of serving your own interests. It's also about responsibility, service, and sacrifice for the sake of others. God has given us a great gift of freedom, and so have the men and women who through the centuries have laid down their lives that we might stand here today and have this conversation about what freedom means. We are free from guilt, shame, and ultimately the penalty of sin, according to the gospel. But we have to decide, what will we do with that freedom? Will we use it, or will we abuse it? Will we use it to love, serve, and build up others, or will we use it as license to sin more, to destroy ourselves and others? Liberty or license? Sacrificial care for others, or selfish indulgence of personal freedom? Jesus famously said, "There is no greater love than when one is willing to lay down their life for the sake of another." On this Memorial Day, on this weekend, we honor and remember all those who understood that freedom, whether freedom as liberty or freedom as license, is not free. It is costly in both forms. On this Memorial Day weekend, we remember all those who were willing and have paid the greatest price of all, the cost of their very own lives, out of love for others, out of love for their country, out of love for the freedoms we cherish, and frankly, so often take for granted. And so, may we honor today and always all those who have laid down their lives for all of us. And may we use our freedom responsibly as the liberty it was intended to be.